Very difficult player to play against, you know, gets people going, tackles hard, good player.
Referee obviously hasn't forgotten the whistle. That's right, yeah. Free kick in the tunnel.
Terry Hurlock's tackled somebody in the tunnel.
He was superb last week against Villa, everywhere.
Mike Walker's here, the manager of Norwich City. And we're ready. So to Spurs and Southampton. That's the live football on Sky Sports this afternoon, the home of the Premier League. Let's join our match commentators, Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Two clubs rather nearer the relegation zone than the right end of the Premier League table. But both sides setting out their stall this Sunday lunchtime on the back of excellent results last time out. Southampton silenced even their sternest critics by overturning Aston Villa. Tottenham rediscovered their winning touch away to Crystal Palace, and both will be looking for more of the same this afternoon. The White Hart Lane management team have recalled Nicky Barmby, who was rested at Palace. Andy Gray, despite a goal on his return, is the one who makes way. Gordon Jury is still injured, but there is a settled look to the defence these days, with Neil Ruddock very much in the spotlight against his old club. He's not the only Southampton connection, though, in this team. Darren Anderton was born there, brought up there. His family home is still in the city.
Yeah, it's a settled back four, Martin, you're right, but they've tinkered a little bit again in the midfield area with the injury to Gordon Jury. They'll have natural width on the right from Darren Anderton. Nicky Barmby will try and support Sheringham whenever possible. And Paul Allen, although he'll be tucked in that left side, will be asked at times to give them width when necessary.
Southampton also changed one ingredient from last weekend's winning formula. Ken Moncal's consistency since signing from Chelsea makes the Dutch defender an automatic choice when fit, which he is again. Kevin Moore standing down. In midfield, it's Terry Hurlock's last match before a 3-game ban. Up front, Ian Brantford has high hopes for a combination of speed and strength. Nicky Banger and Ian Dowie, who both scored against Aston Villa.
Yes, in this formation, easier to predict. A solid back four, as you say. Matthew Le Tissier, the unknown factor there, just how well he'll play. But he's given a free roll from the right to go and cause defences trouble. As you say, young 21-year-old Nicky Banger asked to partner Ian Dowie. And Darren Anderton really should be approaching full fitness now as he continues his recovery. And if he does manage to produce anything like the form he showed us in Portsmouth's colours last year, then Francis Benali could really have a busy afternoon.
A back view of Ken Redfern from way up in Whitley Bay, who's very much on the London beat at the moment. He refereed the FA Cup replay at Selhurst Park on Wednesday, the match which decided that Spurs' opponents next Sunday will be Wimbledon. Ian Dowie hasn't always been appreciated by Southampton supporters, but he's becoming a lucky charm now. In his 18 months at the club, whenever he's scored, the Saints have never lost, so Tottenham better watch out, and that run has reached 15 games. Light rain falling in North London, and the most interested spectators, the men from Wimbledon. Joe Kinnear in the centre of your picture. On the left as we look, his assistant Terry Burton. David Webb at the bottom of the picture as well. Always got plenty to say for himself. Well, it's Tottenham to kick off. They're still a team of two faces, although there has been more solidity mid-season than at a rather fraught start. Recent defeats here by Sheffield Wednesday and Ipswich show the downside. Their first 3-goal haul in the Premier League, very much a plus at Palace. Austin with a throw. Nicky Adams getting there in front of Anderton. Adams and Benali, who work in tandem down the left-hand side for Southampton. Header by Hall, in from Dowie. Howells and Mabbutt going for the same ball. Knocked forward by Ruddock. Sure to be very competitive in the middle of the field in the early stages. And Neil Ruddock will have warned his present teammates about the combative nature of today's opposition. Ruddock, a somewhat reformed character himself. He's still one booking away from a suspension. It's late in the season for him to have reached that position, and he's been on the brink for 9 games now. A much more responsible player since his return to Spurs. In from Benali. Dowie's territory there beyond the far post. Been recalled to the Northern Ireland squad as well, Ian Dowie, another indication of his improved form.
I wonder if Neil Ruddock's maturity has coincided as well with the return of Gary Mabbutt. Just his calming influence there at the centre of defence alongside. There's the key area for me is in midfield. It really is, whether Southampton can stop Spurs passing the ball and moving sweetly.
Adams with a cross, Ruddock meeting it, Paul Allen coming back to help. Voted recently by a section of the supporters here as Tottenham's player of 1992. What an exemplary professional Allen is. Howells trying to get the ball early to Anderton. Samways has sprung through the centre. The ball didn't come to him straight away. It has now. Fire Sheringham, and the flag is up for offside. And the crowd not fully aware. The Barnby volley's just over.
I'll tell you, that was a great run there from Vinnie Samways, and that was a little warning to Neil Maddison that his responsibilities in there have got to be tracking people back. You see, he's just fractionally offside. The flag's up immediately. It's a good decision. But Neil Maddison has been warned.
It is basically a 5-man midfield for Tottenham, with Samways with instructions to support Sheringham, and Barnby, one would expect as well, with his natural attacking side. Dowie. Hurlock. Getting it back. Ron Atkinson was telling me yesterday how splendid Hurlock was against Aston Villa last weekend. By all accounts, everyone's man of the match. Ruddock had a look before the ball arrived. Back by Hall, not too easy for Flowers. Anderton trying to get across and give the goalkeeper some difficulty on his left foot. And he achieved his aim, Darren Anderton, really. Flowers just able only to knock it out of play.
Well, they always say a centre-back, if he lets the ball bounce, then he's asking for trouble. Richard Hall did that, and he almost got himself in trouble with Darren Anderton chasing him in.
Danger. Southampton trying to change the stereotype view that they're unsophisticated and ill-disciplined.
But it was interesting to hear Ian Brandfoot before the game say his team have got the reputation of being horrible to play against, and people don't like doing that. That's one thing he won't want to change.
Well, Tissier, he won't want to change his talent either. It was a lovely layoff and a severe challenge from Justin Edinburgh, who's been singled out by Ken Redfern here for that challenge from behind.
Yeah, it's one of those situations though where you want the referee to let play go on, isn't it?
The Sheringham-Hurlock incident there was not the reason that the referee blew. Adams, found by Benali. Neil Maddison, who is a midfield player with an eye for goal. And although Spurs have players who want to run forward in support of Sheringham from their midfield, they'll have to have one or two to run back to keep tabs on Neil Maddison.
Well, they'll obviously try and get Terry Hurlock to be the holding player in there. Now, they won't want to contain Maddison too much. One of his main strengths is that ability to get forward and join the front two.
Anderton, here's Barnby. The Spurs supporters expect a certain swagger to the style of play here. They talk of the traditional Tottenham way of playing. Good passing, good movement. Not always easy for the players, particularly the young ones, to live up to. Terry Venables found that himself when he came here as a player back in the 60s.
And more difficult in the situation they're in, because they really are still down there amongst all the trouble.
Austin hesitating, wondering whether Southampton might step up. They don't do the second time, nor did the first in truth. Pushed by Ruddock. And it must have been a strong word with the referee, because Ken Redfern came across to have a say of his own. But the exchange of views seemed amicable enough. A referee who has a good working relationship with the players he controls usually. The joking is still going on between the two of them. Ruddock now has to concentrate on the ball, but Howells gets there in front of him. Barmby, it's Samways. And Hall in difficulties. Really with the pace of a greasy pitch as the ball sped on.
But again, Samways is the one breaking from midfield and not being tracked. And really the surface more than anything causing Hall trouble.
The tackle by Hurlock. It's a corner rather than a free kick. Richard Hall just scraped the ball away from Vinnie Samways a moment or two earlier. Anderton's corner. Came off the head of Moncau. Anderton again. Dowie, who's such an industrious character. This weekend, of course, the return of the fixtures from the opening day of the season, when Southampton and Tottenham couldn't manage a goal between them down at the Dell. Barmby. First on the scene is Mabbott. Well, Francis Benali is another of the abrasive characters in the Southampton lineup.
I think we should have expected the game to be broken up with a lot of free kicks today, and it certainly started that way in the first 8 minutes. There's been enough of them.
Austin trying to find the feet of Barmby unsuccessfully. Dean Austin and Justin Edinburgh, now the recognised regular fullbacks for Spurs. There's so much chopping and changing all through the side in the early weeks of the season. But two for the present and very much for the future, you would think, for Tottenham in those key positions at the back. Both ex-Southend United players. Ruddock conscious of the difficulties for Torstvedt. It was a really cleverly weighted back pass. Samways. A roll on here for Anderton, still looking for his first goal in the Premier League and playing now against the club he used to support. Well, that's what from Southampton.
That's what Mickey Adams does as well as anyone in the Premier League, is help his fullback like that. One of the best, and I'm sure Francis Benali would appreciate it every week he plays, that Mickey Adams' defensive abilities are excellent.
Lock almost colliding with his own player, Dowie, then. Such was the commitment for Southampton to deal with a little episode in midfield. Anderton coming into the middle. Oh, and it was a bright idea. Howells coming behind him, trying to be fed with the flick. Wins by Crystal Palace on Tuesday and Wimbledon at Oldham yesterday have intensified things down at the bottom. The scrap to stay in the Premier League is still the main priority for both these sides, despite Tottenham's continuing involvement in the FA Cup.
That was a great little combination with the two front men there. Nicky Barmby obviously calling on Terry Sheringham to go over the ball. Did so, and it cleared them right in to run at Moncau.
The back man here is Ruddock. An unusual career Ruddock has had already, with 2 spells at Millwall, a second spell here at Spurs, and of course a developing time at the Dell. Forward from Dodd. Howells holding just in front of the back 4 for Tottenham. Again, Hall having trouble with the bounce, and it's Barmby. Samways is in the centre, it's come behind him, and Benali sweeps it out for the corner. Richard Hall is having a harrowing time at the moment.
And he knows it. He commits himself to making it there, and he doesn't get there. And honestly thought Nicky Barmby's just going to roll this across to Vinnie Samways, but it really was a poor ball from a youngster.
Dowie defending again from Anderton's corner. The second ball from Darren Anderton. Mabbott. Arms raised by Tottenham players very close to that incident, that the ball might have dropped off the captain's head onto a Southampton arm. Referee saw nothing wrong. Barmby. Austin getting it back for Tottenham. Ruddock gets it down, but the linesman already has put the flag up.
That's something Southampton gamble on, you know, and it's dangerous when the ball's not very far out. You see that, and they all run out looking to catch people offside. You can see them doing that when the ball's maybe 30 yards from goal, but when it's only, what, 12 or 13 yards from your own goal line, it's a difficult and a dangerous policy.
Here's Herlock. Not seen too much of Nicky Banger yet. He's bright and quick, very raw. But he's got the sort of pace up front that Southampton have missed since they sold Rodney Wallace. Ian Bradford certainly enjoyed last weekend at the Dell. There have been demonstrations against the manager this season, but after the win against Villa, they were singing "The Saints Go Marching In" again, just like the old days.
You see the players are having really some trouble with the surface. That drizzle we had about an hour or 2 hours before the game really has made it very, very slippy.
Austin with a throw, and with a cross. Isn't a cross really in the end. Tim Flowers, who was 26 last Wednesday. Ruddock, but Banger is making up the ground on him. Ruddock couldn't have really seen him, but he must have heard him. Turned the right way and then survived the hiccup after that.
Well, 21-year-olds new in the game don't tend to give things up easily, as Nicky Banger showed there.
David Howells needing some treatment from David Butler.
You see he's keen here, how keen he is. Look, Neil Ruddock thinks he's got a few yards. He might just give it up, but not at 21 and in the game, trying to impress people. And that'll be typical of what Banger's going to be about this afternoon.
It's the first time he started an away game in the league side. He really exploded on the scene 2.5 years ago with a hat-trick on his debut in a League Cup tie against Rochdale at the Dell. He's been averaging more than a goal a game in the reserve team this season to get his chance. been a season of more injury than usual for David Howells. He broke a toe back in August at Leeds, missed a large number of games because of that. Terry Venables leaves the director's box to check what's going on down at ground level with Ray Clements.
Certainly doesn't look too hopeful. Always a bit worried. It doesn't look as if it looks like they want to get him carried off rather than walk off as well, which is not a good sign for David Howells.
Andy Gray was very disappointed to learn yesterday that he wouldn't start the game today, having come back after 4.5 months out of the side to play at his old club Crystal Palace to score a goal to help to a victory.
I've tried to take a quick throw there with Gary Mabbutt off the pitch, having helped David Howells away. Luckily, I spotted it.
Mabbutt's on again, and now, for the first time, is Gray. So his frustration lasting, what, just 17 minutes. He's lost his place with a groin problem early in the season. He's had a month on loan at Swindon to improve his match fitness. 3 good games for Glenn Hoddle there.
I wonder if it'll just be a straight swap, Martin. Andy Gray for David Howells. I think David Howells is more disciplined, I would suggest, than Andy Gray probably would be. And it may be the point if Andy's tending to get dragged forward away from that position in front of his 2 centre-backs that they might think of swapping it, possibly Paul Allen in there and Andy Gray a little bit wider, but that's something we'll have to look for.
Yes, Neil Maddison running Andy Gray could be an important aspect of the game over the next few minutes. But Southampton have really got to get a greater share of the ball for that to happen. No chance yet for Letitia to show us all the finery in the repertoire. Nicky Adams, of course, has played as a left-back, which is why he's so sensitive to the difficulties that Benali has during the course of a game, and why they work so well together.
Well, we might be able to have a little look at what exactly happened to David Howells there. This is the incident, and it's obviously when he's landing there. You can see immediately he's landed, up comes the left foot.
And it was an Achilles tendon problem on the landing. Landing now. And the challenge from Hurlock for Teddy Sheringham. A calming word from an experienced referee. Game already going again. And Hall has to head behind. Just coming up to the 20-minute mark, Darren Anderton gives the signal. Neil Ruddock pulls away to the far post. Tim Flowers, at the second attempt, holds on.
Good corner, that really viciously played in, a lot of pace. And in these conditions, it's always good to test a goalkeeper like that, test his handling. Tim Flowers almost dropping it under pressure from Sheringham. But it's been 20 minutes where I felt that Spurs really have been in complete control, and Southampton haven't offered any problems at all to them and as an attacking force. One concern would be that they haven't really tested Tim Flowers at all yet.
It's not quite the phobia here of last season when Tottenham lost 11 games in the league and a couple more in cup ties, but they don't seem to be quite as relaxed on their own pitch, though it is much improved. So many bare patches here last season, and no real reason why Spurs can't spray it around. Edinburgh, Allen. And all Letitia can do, really, is to just tow it away for another corner.
Well, for 20 minutes, and really Matt Letitia has seen nothing of the ball.
And Darren Anderton has taken plenty of corners.
Come on, lift it!
Ruddock more to the near side this time. Mavett making a move in the middle. For the first time, Ian Dowie in the right place defensively. Southampton pushing out quickly.
Hey, Kenny! Kenny! Get some air under it! Get some air under it! Get out!
Letizia. Makes the game look so easy. He's jogged forward. Wants to get himself involved again here from Adams. That's a delightful pass. And as Banger went on, Dowie shoots and scores! And Letizia was right at the heart of that, right from the halfway line.
Isn't it incredible? I just said that for 20 minutes, Matt Letizia hadn't seen the ball. He gets himself involved twice here. It's a lovely little ball through, but it's all about Nicky Banger. I mean, Andy Gray does ever so well with the tackle, but Ian Dowie slots a lovely goal. Their first real attack at the Tottenham defence, and don't they punish them for it?
Well, as I said at the start, when Dowie scores, Southampton have never lost in his 18 months at the club. That's why the travelling fans from down in the south are delighted, not just with the goal, but the particular player who scored it. He got a goal in a win on this ground last season, but we're only halfway through the first half. Tottenham have dictated the shape of the match from midfield without looking particularly heavy hitting up front. But for the first time, Southampton really threatening in Torsvett's penalty area. The ball's in the back of the net, and Tottenham are behind at White Hart Lane. Allen. Here's Samways. Anderton had Paul Allen up with him. There's a run here for Banger, who was prominent in the goal as well.
It was good skill from Nicky Banger that really did create it. You see the end of it here, you see Dowie's got himself in a good position at the back post. He really strikes it through Justin Edinburgh's legs. Torsvett can do nothing.
Well, it's not quite the run that Ian Rush had in his first Liverpool spell, when it went on for years and years. When Rush scored, Liverpool didn't lose, but it's the same theme. And Southampton are grateful for the goals from this forceful forward, who off the pitch is a very thoughtful character, belies perhaps sometimes the way he plays the game. Not frightened of putting himself about, and on a good run at the moment. But Matthew Letizia on the halfway line down in front of us, switched the play from right to left to get that attack going, and then just jog forward. A strolling player he is at times, to be available as the move moved infield again, and then to roll Nicky Banger in, which led to Dowie's first goal of the game.
It's things like that that really prompt people in the game to suggest, well, why does he not get himself involved more in the game when he has that ability? I think, to be fair today, it's not that he hasn't been getting himself involved. When he plays wide, it's up to his teammates really to get the ball to him at times. And for 20 minutes, he couldn't do it. First time he gets involved, what an end product.
Well, he's been saying publicly this week, Matt Letizia, that he would hope that Graham Taylor might consider him for the squad for San Marino, the type of player who could possibly open up a team that's certainly going to come to Wembley just to defend, perhaps more than any we've ever seen there. Herlock. Letizia again.
This is definitely the best side for them to come, with Paul Allen tucked in on this side and not really as a wide player. There is some space on this near side for Matt Letizia and Jason Dodd to get things going.
And again, he's found an outlet that would have been beyond plenty of other players, even at this level. Adams, with a scurry past Austin, played it against him. It's a Southampton throw.
Amazing what a goal does. There's an extra yard of pace all around the Southampton players now. Extra zip about them, and suddenly Tottenham, they look shocked, as I say, for controlling the game for 20 minutes. Suddenly find themselves one down after Southampton's first real probe into their box.
Long from Moncao. There's Dowie jumping, and Andy Gray, Maddison. Oh, the flag's up. And Tottenham are spared perhaps a Letitia special. Allen. Austin to the right. Dowie getting back, getting across Austin, getting the ball.
That's amazing team spirit that Ian Branthwaite, I think, is very proud of, and rightly so. The centre forward there, caught offside only moments earlier, is chasing back 70 yards to help his defenders.
Down the years, Southampton have had some real beatings on this ground, but in more recent times, I can recall them knocking Tottenham out of the Cup third round a few years ago here. Southampton winning 3-1. Letitia got a goal in that match, and they were very good value for the victory. And to remind you, they did win this fixture in the First Division last season. A goal to the good. Samways. Sheringham making some space for Spurs. Adams first to him for Southampton.
I think I could play left back, you know, behind Mick Adams, I really do. It doesn't half help him out. Mentioned it once before, but that again was a great example of it.
And again, Dowie joining those who might win this in the air and defend well for Southampton. Benali safely down to Hurlock. And when you've got a player with pace, just lifting the ball over the top gives the opposition some cause for concern, and Nicky Bain just running, giving Southampton some breathing space as they push out from their own penalty area. Of course, on the way back, Banger is offside. Well, no wonder Terry Venables doesn't look too pleased. It's a bit of a familiar story at the moment at White Hart Lane. Tottenham being behind. Ipswich won here recently, Sheffield Wednesday before them. Two clubs further up the table than Southampton. Tony Sheringham with 13 goals for Spurs since signing from Forest, but only 4 of them here.
He's actually taken some stick from the Tottenham supporters, which I find quite strange, but Terry Sheringham's the type of player that thrives on people crossing ball into the box as well, Martin. I don't think in certainly his early time here at Spurs, he's had the type of players in the Spurs side that have provided him with the sort of ammunition he likes. We talked about the way Spurs pass the ball about through midfield, and they tend to try and play teams in, or play through teams rather than get it wide and get it across the face of the box.
Hurlock. Now Dowie. Banger is the way forward. Well, he didn't quite get it right that time, but once more you can see that Spurs have to be absolutely sure when they step out.
This is what they've had to do, Southampton, defensively. They've pressed the ball very, very well. I felt that if they allowed the Spurs midfield in particular time and space to pass the ball around, they really could suffer, but they've set the stall out very, very well in the first half hour.
Danger. A bit leaden-footed along that back line. No one really wanting straight away to take the responsibility. There's about temperament here as well as talent for Tottenham, knowing that the crowd are getting agitated, going against their very tough and organised opposition. Sheringham! Oh, and Flowers in that situation there where the goalkeeper's got to get it absolutely right, otherwise it's not only a penalty, it might mean a red card as well. He served Southampton nobly at expense of Teddy Sheringham. And suddenly Spurs, certainly through the supporters, are lifted by the opportunity when the offside trap failed to work for Ian Bramford's players. Dodd. Letitia to his right. Maddison through the middle. And Banger as well. It's a late tackle by Letitia, but Tim Flowers with a piece of protection here.
Well, the gamble again. This offside. I think they are offside, really. Vinnie Sandwich is the one offside. But what he does here is he gambles Timmy Flowers, and for a goalkeeper, he gets it spot on.
He's there again. More easier pass this time. With Barmby been careering through. Timmy for England is the cry from the Southampton supporters, many of whom are behind the goal that Flowers defended so well then. Samways, Gray, Sheringham. Tottenham's touch not there with the passing at the moment. Here's Maddison. Go back the way he's come. Benali. Here's Adams, making it happen for Southampton. Dowie, is he going to drive another one? Couldn't quite see what he was aiming at, I don't think. He hesitated. But you saw the other side of Mickey Adams there, the attacking range to his play. Today, that's a little too languid. Anderton. Samways running into his space, really. But Southampton got back. Adams and Benali.
Well, it's suddenly opened up the whole game, hasn't it?
Great. The press switched on for David Howells. Sheringham. Tottenham looking for an equaliser here. Here's Anderton. And Dodd just getting his head to it. Edinburgh keeping it in. Now Allen. Southampton trying to step out again. Gray. Dodd. Couldn't use the goalkeeper. It's far too risky.
Well, the more open the game, the more I think it suits Spurs.
11 minutes to go to half-time. And it's Southampton's throw. They've played 3 away games since the turn of the year, Southampton, and lost all 3 by 2 goals to 1 at Forest in the Cup, at Leeds and at Middlesbrough. But Ian Bramford will tell you that they played well enough in each of those games to get something. Came away empty-handed. So that might just be in the back of their minds as this match develops. By little Nicky Barmby to try and put the ball into the danger area again for Tottenham. Letitia. Dowie to his right. Letitia waltzes on. Here's Benali. At pace. Adams. Oh, and Dowie. Well, he stopped the ball going out for a goal kick. It was a willing lunge. Obviously not designed to do that, but to try and turn the ball across the face of the goal.
A vicious ball in from Mickey Adams, though, wasn't it? So much pace on it. I think Tottenham players didn't expect anyone to be behind there. But like most things, this Southampton side, they don't give a lot up easily. And Ian Dowie didn't give that up.
Nor did Benali when confronted by Anderton, but he's had him running behind him here. Sean Moncau out of the centre. Let Sheringham in.
Yeah, that's more like the type of ball that Teddy Sheringham does thrive on. Anderton does everything asked of him here, delivers it early into a good space, sets up very nicely for Teddy Sheringham. He should really do better than that. I wonder if that early miss is just in his mind. It's two good chances Sheringham's had.
Sheringham glancing it on, help from Barmby. Allen. Sheringham. Oh, it's just forced Anderton a little wide. It's got to be a cross now rather than a shot. It's a deflected cross, and Tottenham have another corner.
Yeah, I think better appreciation of Darren Anthony's position there from Teddy Sheringham was vital. Forced him to go a little bit wide, as you said.
Sheringham is the type of player you can feed the ball into his feet and it will stick. He let himself down with a pass. Anderton's corner. Flowers knocks it back where it came from. Anderton again, and another corner. Madison typifying the eagerness of Southampton. Moncao above Ruddock, takes some doing. Good challenge by Banger as well, just to hold Southampton up for a second or two more, allow Hurlock to pick up the cross from Anderton. But Dowie dwelt on the ball a little too long. Hurlock, there's a way forward here, but he couldn't find it to Adams. And Playon says, the referee, well, it looked to me as though first of all he went Playon, and then obviously heard a whistle.
I think everyone reacted off Liza's flag. They all seem to be looking in that direction. Certainly Terry Hurlock did. You're quite right. Ken Raytheon did signal for the game to go on, but I think they thought, well, everyone's been caught out by the flag.
Anderton again. Tottenham obviously feel that they can get players in behind Southampton on these crosses, given the type of defending that Ian Bramfoot's team is using in front of Tim Flowers.
I think when you have free kicks in that area, though, man, it's important that you don't deliver them first touch. It's important to take a touch on the ball first. It then stops the back four and all the defenders just rushing out en masse, the way Southampton do.
Sheringham. Moncao recognising where the ball would drop if Sheringham got to it as he did. Samways. Tottenham needing a lift before half-time. Able at the moment to keep Southampton occupied in their own half, but not really to find a way for a clear-cut opening on a regular basis. Anderton. Well, it would have been quite a story for a first league goal against his hometown club.
Looked quite bright today, though, Dan Anderton as well. His skill was very, very good. Hooking it over Benali's head, but just didn't connect with the volley.
It was volleying part of his range of skills that was impressive with Portsmouth. And of course he came here and wasn't fully fit at the outset of his Tottenham career, but did play. And he's had the hernia operation since then, and he's looking more like his old self. Old self, he's not that old. His former self. Mabbott. Here is Anderson, anxious to get involved. It wasn't like that earlier in the season when he looked shy and self-conscious in his wide position. Gray, a bit quicker to him than he thought.
I think, to be fair to Andy Gray, what he tried to do, he knew that Teddy Sheringham had gone and challenged. I think that's what he's just pointing out, that he'd gone and challenged the goalkeeper. He was just trying to knock the ball sideways, just to keep it in play.
Hurlock. booing won't put him off.
He'd be disappointed if they don't boo him. That would put him off.
Samways, who promises so often. Allen. Free to his right in the centre for Tottenham. Sheringham for Allen. Offside. Let me remind you that tomorrow night we've got a match which surprisingly also has a relevance at the bottom of the table. Leeds United at home to Manchester United. Edinburgh.
That's just it. Neil. That's foul.
So foot raised by Banger, but didn't ruffle Ruddock or the referee. Well, Terry Venables has many roles at the club, but the team and the performance today uppermost in his thinking now. Gray taking a chance. I wonder what the Wimbledon manager, Joe Kinnear, makes of all this. He said in the week publicly, Wimbledon will win the cup. Well, if they're going to do that, they've got to get past Tottenham here next Sunday. We'll see that live, of course, on Sky Sports.
Well, they are talking as past cup winner or something.
Joe Kinnear, a past cup winner with Tottenham as a player. Oh, there's a slip. There's hauled ball across for Dodd. It's let Paul Allen in for Tottenham. And Flowers again to the rescue for the moment. Spurs still trying to seize the chance. Edinburgh. Hurlock. Now Dodd, who was caught out by Paul playing the ball square rather than back or forward. Adams keeping Austin occupied. And Tim Flowers has done his bit.
Good goalkeeping it was.
Banger. It's Anderton who cleared. Moncao. The slipping and sliding on the pitch has been a feature in the first half, and it was certainly relevant in the incident that led to the Tim Flowers save.
Well, I've had trouble more than Tottenham players, Southampton. I'm sure one or two will be checking the studs at half-time. But the trouble that Paul Allen's got here is no one can catch him up quick enough, so he has to go on his own. And look how well Tim Flowers stands up and doesn't commit himself early.
Southampton's free kick. Dowie will launch himself into loud at Torsfett. In fact, Ruddock cleverly held him off. Samways, Allen. Means so much to Spurs and their supporters to get a goal here and switch the whole tone of this Sunday lunchtime.
No, this was a more difficult chance for Terry Sheringham, but purely and simply because watch the ball, it ends up coming behind him. It's pulled behind him, he's in a little bit ahead of the ball, and that's what made the chance difficult. Once again, Southampton are gambling with this offside, and they've been caught 3 or 4 times in this first half. When the ball's just gone back there to Eric Torsfett, I can't help thinking he won't have had many quieter first halves than this, and yet he still finds himself 1-0 down.
Madison. Here's Letitia. The time added on for the David Howells injury. That. Letitia again, Hurlock. Dowie, but no one running, anticipating a flick there. They wouldn't have reached it, I don't think, in any case, because Dowie's connection wasn't as clean as he would have hoped for. But they put a lot into this first half, Southampton. And they're seconds away from taking a 1-0 lead into the dressing room with them.
But Tottenham have done enough to suggest that they are not out this game at all. They've created enough chances.
Anderton. Now it's preventing the corner. Here's Adams. And that's probably his weakest moment of an otherwise excellent first half. Well, Austin going in the last act of the first half, leaving Maddison down, but a good half it's been for Southampton, for Ian Dowie in particular. One chance he's had, one goal to his name. It hasn't been the same for Teddy Sheringham, who's let a couple get away from him. Tim Flowers has done his part for Southampton. A galaxy of guests to entertain you at half-time. That's after the break.
Welcome back to White Hart Lanes. Southampton leading by 1-0. Commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Spurs trying to avoid a third consecutive home defeat in the Premier League. Ian Dowie trying to keep going this remarkable run. When he's scored, Southampton have never lost. Today, his 18th goal for the club. Those goals have come in 16 matches. 9 have been won, 6 draws, and we're halfway through the 16th, of course. It's 1-0 to Southampton.
Just wondering, Martin, if they've changed it in any way, Terry Venables, with Clements and Doug Livermore, whether they'll ask little Nicky Bambi to play more as a front runner up with Teddy Sheringham, and whether they might just pull Paul Allen a little bit wider on the left to give him a little bit better shape.
Tottenham not just trying to get the better of the opposition here, but trying to reaffirm the faith of their own supporters, who have been, you might say, characteristically critical at times. They pay a lot of money for the right to come here to White Hart Lane to watch their matches, and they're entitled to their opinions. Dean Austin, who finished the first half with a cut in a collision with Ian Dowie. A facial cut, that is. Might see whether they've patched it up with a plaster there. Danger. Dodd. Letitia. He's got the cross in, and Torstvedt was pleased that it arrived in the middle of the goal. They'd gone near post Banger, far post Dowie had Southampton.
I think another yard of pace on that, and Ian Dowie really would have fancied the cross. But again, it was a skill after Letitia. A little drag back through his legs, wasn't it? That created the opening. He's just dragged it there, and he knows he's going to deliver here. Look at Dowie coming in at the back post. I think he really would have fancied these chances against Austin there.
Adams. It's a great run from him. Everything he's done, Mickey Adams, has been so positive. Been around a long time now. 31 years old. The Yorkshireman with true Yorkshire grit. Long throw from Moncao. When ready. Edinburgh. The flag is up. Dean Austin with some Vaseline around that area that was cut just before half-time. Here is Austin, Anderton ahead of him. Not really available at the moment. He's had to come deep to get into a position where he could receive the ball. Samways, Gray. He has a flair for the unpredictable. Also shooting from long range, but he's spurned the opportunity to do that then.
They seem quite happy, Southampton, when Spurs have the ball in that position. Just to say, well, go on then, we know you're going to try and thread one through. I just wonder if they should vary it a little bit more.
Finale. Adams for Banger, who's quicker than Mabbott. Flashes it across the face of the goal with Letitia coming in. It's stayed in play. Maddison. Letitia again. It's a brisk start to the second half for Southampton, trying to stop Tottenham doing the same.
Well, Nicky Banger's pace has given problems to both centre-backs whenever he's had the opportunity to use it, and at that time it's Gary Mabbott who posed all the problems to.
Finale. Well, Banger's pace noted, I'm sure, by Mike Walker, the manager of Norwich City, who play Southampton at the Dell on Wednesday. Finale. Finale again. Adams. Will make it difficult for Southampton to clear, for Spurs to clear rather. Hurlock. Offside.
Well, it's been an excellent start, the first 5 minutes, this second half for Southampton. They've been more positive in this 5 minutes than they probably were in the whole of the first half.
Allen. Flowers. The boss.
Well, when I suggested to vary it slightly, I didn't quite have that in mind. I mean, that's just food and drink for someone who's playing with the confidence of Tim Flowers today. And he knows it wasn't a good ball, Neil Ruddock.
Southampton, incidentally, without Glenn Cockerell at the moment, the club captain, who tried to make a comeback from the reserves yesterday and lasted only a few minutes before he picked up a fresh injury, and that's a blow to Ian Brandfoot, given that Hurlock will be absent, it seems, for the next 3 games. Banger. Well, he shaped for the shot with the confidence of a player who's been scoring regularly, not at this level, of course, although he's contributed a couple this season, one against Aston Villa last weekend, and he came on in the early weeks of the season to do some damage to Middlesbrough. They looked to be heading to victory at the Dell, and Banger turned the game. That's a foul against Richard Hall. Spurs looking rather flat at the moment. Austin trying to change that. Barmby holding off Moncao. Here's Anderton. And Sheringham had gone into an area that had attracted the attention of the linesman.
Right, you can bet your life, as soon as Nicky Barmby played that ball back to Darren Anderton, that the Southampton defenders were on the way out.
Barmby has created a buzz this season. Many a schoolboy star, as Barmby is, has failed to make the big time, but he does look a natural. Spurs are trying to shield him from the pressures off the pitch, but out on it, he can certainly look after himself. Edinburgh. Anderton. Here's Gray on the burst. Oh, it was a shot. It only turned out to be a pass for Barmby, a wild swing at the ball when the position started to look promising for Tottenham.
It opened up for Andy Gray, didn't it? It was a good move from Spurs, nice little passing movement. It's a bit unfortunate that it just bobbled just as he was making contact with it.
Oh. Words from Terry Venables, a thoughtful expression from Ray Clements. The flag is up, and Le Tissier.
He's not offside, Martin, for me.
No,
I don't
not
think
for me either.
I think that it's Ian Dowie. If anyone is caught offside, you don't quite see it from that angle. But I think that you'll find that it's Ian Dowie is the one who's offside, and Matt Le Tissier timed his run to perfection.
Danger. Off on a run here is Jason Dodd. He's run out of room. The referee hasn't seen the flag. Linesman in the other half. Dodd, who vies with Jeff Kenner for the right-back role for Southampton.
Got it.
Lobbed forward by Le Tissier. Austin. Anderton. Times looking as though they're treading in treacle. But now looking to find firmer footing. And firmer resolve too. The linesman calling the attention of the referee. The shirt pulling by Jason Dodd.
It could only have been that. Certainly looked nothing wrong with the tackling that was going on there from Jason Dodd. You see the tackle here, and there looks nothing wrong with that, but you see the left hand tugging the shirt there, and that's what the eagle-eyed eyes spotted.
Well, is that the break Tottenham needs to get back level? With Sheringham, it is! A goal that means so much, a player who meets the crowd there. The crowd haven't been always on his side so far today, but they are now.
Well, he keeps going, Teddy Sheringham. Missed 2 chances in the first half, but look at the defending. Pulls behind Ian Dowie, and that's crucial. And he doesn't miss those kind of headers. Watch Dowie's positioning again. Really? That shouldn't happen. That's bad defending from Ian Dowie, but a good finish from Sheringham.
Well, the linesman, Dennis Madgwick, will be appreciated by Tottenham. It was he who caught the eye of the referee, who spotted an infringement by Jason Dodd, and from the free kick, Teddy Sheringham has equalised for Spurs. And that after Southampton, who would have expected Tottenham to come out with all guns blazing at the start of the second half, have done very well in the 10 minutes we've had since the break.
Well, it's the first time their concentration's really dropped in the whole game. And Ian Dowie, who had given them the lead, really responsible for some pretty poor marking from the free kick.
Moncao. Put forward by Mabbott, met by Hall. And Samways. Anderton. There's space for Sheringham here, off Benali's head for Sheringham's volley. And Barmby. 2-1. Flowers is bewildered by what's happened around him. And they were lucky, Tottenham, and the linesman was a key figure again.
Well, the linesman contributed again. I mean, Teddy Sheringham, with all the will in the world, is having a go at goal here. Misconnects there. They're furious at Nicky Barmby's offside. They're all up. They're all looking for the offside flag. It doesn't go up. And within a minute, Tottenham find themselves in front.
And Sheringham's expression says so much, because he knew he mishit a shot that turned out to be a perfect pass, and the linesman ruled that Barmby was in a perfect position, a perfectly legal position. Southampton certainly aren't sure about that. But suddenly, it's 2-1 to Tottenham. And Sheringham first, and then Barmby have put Southampton here on the rack in a game where they were showing control, having taken the lead themselves. Well, my first instinct when Barmby put it in was to look straight to the linesman.
I have to say it looked questionable to me when it happened.
Is this another one for Anderton? It is! Well, everything Tottenham touch turns to goals. And Terry Venables permits himself the merest of smiles, and Darren Anderton has scored for Tottenham in a Premier League game for the first time, and it's come against his hometown club, Southampton.
Well, it's just a complete mix-up between Francis Benali and Timmy Flowers. Flowers comes up for it, really. There should be a call from Benali if he's taking the header. But composure from Anderton. Finds a little side foot shot, bypasses Flowers, he opens his account. What a 3 or 4 minutes this has been for Spurs.
Three goals in 4 minutes, and Southampton are staggered. Ian Branfoot knows the ups and downs of management, but turnarounds have rarely been as dramatic as this one in the Premier League this season. But that second goal still, I would say, would stand a bit of analysis if we can look at it again. Even though Tottenham have now moved on to 3. Benali, he can't get it away. They're queuing up for goals. Sheringham!
I don't believe it.
Southampton have fallen apart, and Tottenham have hit a purple patch. Sheringham gets his second. An extraordinary spell early in the second half at White Hart Lane.
Well, they really have fallen pieces defensively. Look, they're in 6s and 7s. They're all over the place. But Sheringham's confidence is there for all to see. Missed a couple in the first half, but look at that for composure. Side foot, picked his spot, 4-1.
And he knew the instant that he'd struck it where it was going to finish. Well, the bottom has dropped out of the world of Ian Branfoot. Anderton. Well, once the ball goes out of play, we'll take you back to the second goal, which I'm sure Southampton fans watching back down on the south coast will still be debating. But the game goes on.
Here we can have a look at the second goal, and this may well be the goal that proved crucial in all that's happened. Sheringham hits it there. Barmby for me is offside there. He's ahead of the play, he's ahead of Moncao. The linesman didn't give it, and we've all seen what's happened from there. I don't think I've ever been at a game, Mark, when I've seen 4 goals scored in 5 minutes like that.
All by the same side. And Southampton losing the discipline that they maintain so well in terms of their behaviour and the style of their football. This is Benali on Barmby. That's an assault.
The only fortunate thing for little Nicky Barmby is it wasn't the boot that caught him, I think it was his knee. I think he should take his teammate advice, Francis Benali, and just drift away from that part.
But it's symptomatic of the agony that Southampton are feeling now when a game that certainly wasn't settled, but was going their way. And Ian Dowie, their lucky charm, had got the goal. They're certainly going to lose now in a match in which he scored. Doug Livermore and Terry Venables with happier things to talk about. The referee talking to Benali. And he sent him off for violent conduct. Compassionate pat on the head from Ruddock, who knows Benali well, of course. And for Southampton, it gets worse and worse and worse.
Well, the referee certainly took his time over the decision. I know little Nick Bambu's been helped off the pitch here. Whether he's damaged a shoulder, seems to be holding that. That right shoulder seems to be the one, and whether he damaged that in landing. I don't know why the referee took so long to make his decision, Martin. I really don't. I would imagine if the tackle was as bad as the referee thought, the decision would have been made earlier. It's as if he's waited to see what little Nicky Bambi's condition was like and then made his decision.
Pat Van den Hauwe will be the substitute, and of course there's more to this than just the injury in the game. Nicky Bambi, much to Tottenham's displeasure, is scheduled to go to Australia with the FA youth side to play for England in the World Under-20 tournament next month. It's a compulsory selection, but this might cloud those particular waters.
Well, the sending off just ends a quite amazing 7 or 8 minutes for Southampton, doesn't it? Absolutely shell-shocking must be.
Who composed his thoughts, took plenty of time before making his decision, and then sending Francis Benali packing, followed by the player that Benali fouled, leaving the pitch as well through the injury that incident caused Nick Bambi. One of the scorers in this sensational spell for Spurs. And you have to say that wherever you go for a Premier League game, there's always plenty to talk about. This might not have looked a fashionable fixture, but I don't think you'll forget it in a hurry. Certainly Southampton won't.
Looked so comfortable, didn't they, at 55, 6, 7 minutes of the second half, when they'd started really well.
Anderton's second goal for Spurs, but his first in the league. And a double today for Sheringham, and against 10 men now. Well, the hat-trick is on. Letitia. Southampton a little respite. Letizier's corner. Hall! Well, Southampton have got some spirit. Richard Hall rams in the header. 4-2.
Well, again, this is just sloppy marking, I feel. It's a bread and butter corner. They're lined up at the edge of the box. They're all going to attack it. They all get underneath it, Ruddock and Mabbott. And that leaves Hall a free header, and he really does bullet it in, doesn't he?
Well, Dowie was the distraction that time. Two went with him. Hall came in behind them. And the player who scored in his first full game for Southampton against Spurs at the start of last season has given another twist to this extraordinary story here.
You surely can't get back in it now.
Been trying to get you a shot of Ian Bramford, but understandably he's been sitting back, absolutely stunned. In their own way, I should think Tottenham and their management team finding it hard to take it in.
Yeah, but they'll take all the credit and the planning, of course, won't they?
As the ball goes out, we'll get a word from Nick Collins on the far side.
Well, the latest news on Nick Barmby is that the Spurs medical team are examining him at the moment. They think he's either got a dislocated elbow or a shoulder, but they're not sure. They're trying to keep him in exactly the same position. And he's in a bit of pain, I can tell you, because his mouth is also bleeding. So we'll update you on the Nick Barmby situation if we get any more, Martin.
Thanks, Nick. Hurlock, bounded by Allen, allowing Sheringham to get in. That's great! What I said about the unpredictability of his play.
Well, we tend to use the word quite easily, quite readily these days, but that is a magnificent volley from Andy Gray. It really is. Bending all the way. I have to say Tim Flowers looked very comfortable about the whole thing. But it was bending rather fiercely as it passed his goalpost.
I'm not sure he can be comfortable about anything at the moment. He had a clean sheet, a shutout going, and suddenly he's picked the ball out of the net 4 times. And there's Pat Van den Hauwe through the middle. Anderton was trying to take a path around Mickey Adams, who'd fallen over. Had he gone hurdling him, he might have got to the ball. And if we see Pat Van den Hauwe score today, then I expect the pigs to be flying as well over the stadium.
He has scored in his life.
His last goal decided the championship at Norwich for Everton, 1987.
He's overdue then, isn't he?
Maybe the tints in the hair will help a little bit. Anderton, Austin. Well, Wimbledon might have a different impression of Tottenham. Joe Kinnear noting it all.
Probably thinking, survive the blitz and we should be okay.
Probably thinking they've got all their goals out of their system, or hoping that that's the case. It's been pointed out to me that Spurs still got an Arsenal record to try and beat. Arsenal got 6 goals in 18 minutes against Sheffield Wednesday last season. 4 in 5 here for Tottenham. Tim Flowers is in good company, getting something of a shellacking on this ground. Peter Shilton led in 6 playing here for Southampton in the early 80s. Here's Van den Hauwe. Samways, lovely touch. Everything's slotting into place for Spurs now, and it should. Sure, when the dust settles on this match, Southampton will have a strong opinion about the first 2 goals. The free kick that led to the equaliser, and was it offside? Hurlock's in trouble. Shoving over Gray. Ken Redfern reaching for the top pocket. One would suspect that this would be a yellow card.
It's obvious what he's suggesting. He's booking Terry Hurlock for persistent infringement. That's signalling there. He felt that that's his 3rd free kick he's conceded, so the time for the book to come out.
4-2. Southampton getting the first and the last of the 6 goals we've seen so far. Ian Dowie and Richard Hall, their scorers. 2 for Teddy Sheringham, 1 for Nick Barmby, and 1 for Darren Anderton for Tottenham. Here's Allen, 4 up for Spurs, only 3 back, and Allen decided to pursue his own plans there.
Well, they're all looking to get in the act, aren't they? I mean, it's tailor-made now, the situation for Spurs to be passing the ball about, to be looking to make Southampton run about and chase the ball.
Oh, 2 fiery characters here, Dowie and Van den Hauwe.
I think Van den Hauwe's got a pace there to put forward. Look at like Ian Dowie's elbow certainly came up and caught Van den Hauwe flush on the cheek there.
I think Dowie's indicating to Van den Hauwe that he's got him into trouble, but the referee wants to talk to both of them. This looks like a calming down message, but I'm not sure it's been received and understood. No bookings.
No bookings, we just had a look at it again now. You see the right elbow there, straight in Van den Hauwe's cheek. I think it's a fair case, Pat Van den Hauwe, for being upset there.
Just over 15 minutes to go. And Southampton, I think, will be feeling they'd like to get this over and get out of the place. On the Southampton bench amongst the substitutes, Kerry Dixon. And Dixon's old striking partner at Chelsea, Gordon Jury, an injured Tottenham player at the moment. It's bad news for Spurs, of course, and for Scotland. Dowie, Letitia. Oh, Gray saw the runner through the centre. He didn't spot Dean Austin in acres of space on the right-hand side. Still goes through the middle. A match like this, a hard act to follow, but we've got one for you, I'm sure, of real drama as well. Leeds United against Manchester United at Ellen Road, live on Sky Sports. Ian Dark, your man with the microphone tomorrow. And we'll take a look at the top Hungarian side, Honved, who are over here, getting ready for the restart of the Hungarian season. They've got a friendly at Woking tomorrow night. With the way the goals have arrived so sensationally, we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that the points have top priority to the winners here. And Tottenham, who looked for a long time as though they might be on the losing end of things, have a chance to push up towards Arsenal in the Premier League standings. Extraordinary league table it is. Chopping and changing and nothing defined really any way you look for any reason. Well, how it's turned around for Teddy Sheringham in particular. That's the way it goes for strikers. Sometimes you miss them, sometimes you don't.
The important lesson for everyone is that you keep getting yourself in situations to miss them. Never become disappointed just because you miss a couple of chances.
Danger. Flowers will deal with this. Someone with a great interest in both camps here. Martin Chivers started with Southampton, sold to Tottenham. Such a fine forward in his heyday. He too at times had to win over the White Hart Lane crowd. They're certainly won over in this match. They've scarcely seen anything like it, I'm sure. They'll be racking their memories. The Spurs ever scored 4 goals in 5 minutes.
I have to say, I don't think I've either played in a match or witnessed a match that's had that type of thing in it. Quite incredible.
I think Preston did 6 in 7, but that was just before your time, Andy, the 1880s. That's when teams used to win by 20. Oh, Sheringham going in. Samways can't get past Adams, who's, of course, dropped back to left back with the sending off of Benali. Samways. Header away by Hall. Misdirected header by Van den Hauwe. Here comes Southampton again. Recognising the chance to break away and perhaps catch Tottenham out and bring it back to 1 goal and play on any nerves that Spurs would show should that happen.
Once again, though, the signal, as soon as it turned inside onto his right foot, out they came, the Tottenham back line. The job's done for them now, Tottenham, and it's just a case now of playing out the last 10 minutes, keeping the ball, not making any silly mistakes. I bet they can't quite believe the scoreline, never mind Southampton.
And victory at a cost with Barmby's painful injury. The brightest of many young talents they've got here. And of course they lost David Howells early in the game as well. And a round of midweek matches coming up in the Premier League. Just thick and fast at this stage of the season, especially when you're in the FA Cup still, as Spurs are. Big test of Ruddock's temperament today, with this good run without a booking. See whether those who know him well could have rattled him into an indiscretion. Done that. More validity to the argument, but he's a much more mature man on the pitch. Danger. Hurlock calling for it, but a cross in the end by Maddison. Sheringham. Southampton were light of numbers for a second, just able to get more back into the middle, but Tottenham with Allen and Edinburgh passed their way through that. For Edinburgh again, Samways coming into the middle. It was excellent football until the cross.
And 2 minutes earlier he produced a peach of a crossing that Teddy Sheringham almost got on the end of. This time he's got more space and he just couldn't quite provide it, but it was a great move up the left-hand side.
Sheringham. I haven't always appreciated him in his short time at Spurs. Nottingham Forest will tell you they're still looking for a replacement for Sheringham. And they certainly appreciated the game that he has and what he can offer as a goal scorer, but also as a player who brings others in to the build-up as well. Flag was up before Dowie set off.
One of these decisions where we're going to have difficulty is this new law. You see, Madison's not trying to interfere. He's not trying to gain any advantage at all just by running back past the play, but giving offside. Some referees wouldn't class that as offside.
Austin. Anderton knew where Allen was going, couldn't quite locate him with the pass. Ruddock. Fouls are starting to come, perhaps unwisely. Oh, Sheringham, and the goalkeeper got his hand to the ball. Ed Redfern, has he given the corner? Yes, he has. It's time to signal it.
I mean, Teddy Sheringham just gets his body there. I mean, I think that's a free kick. You see him looking at Tim Flowers and jumping into him a little bit. But the referee was having none of it.
Brandon Howe. Oh, and Gray kicked out then, after being blocked off by Richard Hall.
Yeah, just watch it, just on the right of the screen there. You see Richard Hall just using his arms to keep Andy Gray out of the way. And a little bit of retaliation there from Andy Gray.
Well, you also saw from that replay that Ken Redfern spotted it. And raising studs into the... oh, it's a back pass from Adams. Sheringham. Well, after the game, I'm sure he'll dwell on the ones that he scored, not the ones that have got away.
Yeah, but it's a great chance for a hat-trick, it really is. He intercepts the back pass here. He's just probably got too much to start with. Didn't quite make his mind up early what he was wanting to do there.
Mistake by Adams, but just before that, I know you, Andy Gray, stick together, but there will be those watching who will feel that he was lucky not to get a booking.
Well, the referee obviously thought nothing of it, Martin, because he, as we saw from the replay, in a great view of it.
Major. And there was no room for error for Torsvet then, and Southampton still sticking at it.
Nicky Baines in particular, he really has worked very, very hard today along with Madison. Very impressed with him. But you see, goalkeeping important, they kept hold of it, and he did.
Well, you take that 5 minutes out. And what a different story it could have been.
Well, it really has been incredible. And I never thought that Spurs were out the game, even at the beginning of the second half. They'd created enough opportunities to suggest that they would create one or two more in the second half. But 5 minutes of that, well, I didn't think that was in the cards.
Herlock. Here's Allen. Sheringham. Austin, and that was rather telegraphed. Adams. Austin got back. Adams understandably weary. He's put an exceptional amount of energy into the game. Mabbott. Tottenham totally relaxed now. Intercepting. Letitia taking it over. And Danger has not quite as much weight to throw into that challenge as Ruddock possesses. Sheringham. And you can see the strain in Southampton now. They're struggling to get numbers back. McDowey, to his credit, has got there, and they've reformed a little better. Anderton gets the cross. Moncau tight on Sheringham. He then went down, suggesting he might have been pushed. Here's Allen. Looking for a little give and go with Samways, the Tottenham trademark there. That hasn't been the way to go. The goals have come there, has it? A set piece to start it all off, a missed kick by Sheringham for Barmby's controversial but crucial second. Anderton seizing on miscalculation. And then Southampton all over the place when Sheringham got the fourth. Moncau.
Well, it'd be difficult to assess this as a Spurs performance, wouldn't it, if you take out that sort of 5-minute spell when they lost the goals, and then 2 minutes later Southampton lost Francis Benali. I mean, all that had happened before that, as you saw, Southampton coping quite comfortably with everything that Spurs could throw at them, really, and holding a 1-0 lead, so it'd be difficult to assess this realistically.
Well, this wouldn't have been a fixture that would have really smacked you in the face looking at the list for this weekend, but what a game it's turned out to be. Herlock. Adams. Madison. Adams again. Andy Gray showing off slightly. But he's got a place to play for. Allen. Samways will get there. Anderton helping him. And Southampton plug the gaps this time. They can with Jason Dodd. Mabbott. Well, a whistle didn't come from the referee. It's certainly heard by the crowd who thought it was all over. Here's Ruddock, trying to rub salt in the wound. Samways. Silly Samways in stoppage time. Gray. It's out of play. Tottenham, who have found it at times harder to put on performances at White Hart Lane, and I think you've seen some of that here in the lesser spells for Spurs, which have been long. Austin. That's another offside. A red card for Francis Benali will not help Southampton in their desire to improve their image. It's hardly an excuse to say that the players were absolutely shell-shocked at what had just gone on leading up to that incident. Adams, too urgent, caught out of position now. Anderton could go on himself here, and Flowers making sure he wasn't beaten on the near post. Well, 5 explosive minutes, 4 goals for Tottenham in that time, early in the second half. And Ian Branford disconsolately makes his way back to the dressing room. Teddy Sheringham, one of the torturers to Southampton, he got 2 of the 4 and was involved in the crucial second one when his mishit shot reached Nick Barmby, who then went off injured in the incident that led to Francis Benali being sent off. Darren Anderton, also a scorer for Spurs. That'll mean a great deal to him and to his family down in Southampton. So, a match at Sunday lunchtime, satisfying the football appetite of the Spurs supporters. Less digestible for Southampton, of course, who led through Ian Dowie and scored the last goal of the game through Richard Hall. And Southampton, who had high hopes of building on that fine victory over Aston Villa, really not back here. Spurs still have to go to Everton on Wednesday before getting down to business with Wimbledon in the FA Cup, and we'll be back here, of course, for that. Final score, Tottenham 4, Southampton 2. Nick Collins is talking to Teddy Sheringham.
Well, Teddy, many congratulations. 2 goals there for you in the second half. But what caused that transformation?
I don't know, really. I think the last couple of wins we've had little spells where we've just pulverised team. And we've done it again today. Can't explain it at all.
4 goals in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Certainly takes the heat off, doesn't it?
How significant a win is that? Because it is very tight at the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, it always is when you play against teams at the bottom as well. If they win, they get the upper hand us. And likewise, they need to win 1 extra game to get alongside us now. So it's nice to get a result there today.
Do you feel a performance like this helps win over the White Hart Lane fans? Because they have at times given you some stick, haven't they?
Yeah, that's right. I've got a bit of stick, but when you're bought for a lot of money and expected to score a lot of goals, then you're entitled to it, aren't you?
6 in 4 games.
Yeah, that's right. Sounds quite good, doesn't it?
Certainly does. One last thought, Teddy. Next week, Wimbledon here in the FA Cup. Very confident, I would imagine, after a performance like that in the second half.
Yeah, we've got another important one on Wednesday, really, though. We've got Everton away, which is another important game. They're not having such a good season either. So it's another game where we both got to win, and then we look forward to Wimbledon after that.
Well, the early Sunday kick-offs obviously appeal to you.
Well, I don't know, not the first half it didn't, did it? Perhaps if we started about 1:45. That'd be about right.
All right, Teddy, well done. Thanks very much.
Cheers.